Well, good day. Today is Thursday, May 15th, May 16th, 2024. And hello, Sister Jeannie and CJ and Maria. And yes, we have a new Catholic baby into the world. And Peter and Denise will appreciate this name. Let me see. I got to get my tongue straight for this one. Alestrina May, spelled Alastriona. It's Gaelic, and it means defender of mankind. And I have to say, I did receive something from above when I heard that they were going to have a baby today. So I very much appreciate that. So it was a long day, and she definitely worked for that baby. But it was beautiful, and I was there most of the time. They kicked me out for the actual delivery, which is fine by me. And it was just wonderful. The baby is beautiful, 7.5 pounds, and Mama's doing very good. So it's just an experience that is simply, for lack of a better word, godly, a gift from the Trinitarian Theophany, without a doubt. So let's continue with St. John of the Cross. Okay, I'm going to switch modes now to the dark side, the dark night, as we are purged in this particular sense as a form of purgatory on earth. And we're going to, this is a pretty good reading this morning, so let's get to it. In nomine Deum, Matronam Nostra, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. And welcome, Doctor. We have a new subscriber. And anybody else that I haven't mentioned, I apologize. I don't always see who subscribes, but welcome. And I highly suggest, again, please go to ourladiesgod.com. This Mass is an extension of that website and what we have learned from Mr. Nobody and his research. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank God, the Trinitarian Theophany, for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves in our sufferings up to heaven. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. And let us beg of God the graces from the Trinitarian Theophany which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities, and give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O God, Our Lady, Dea Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress and my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deam Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Amend. And one note about the hospital, they have a birthing pavilion, which, caters to, obviously, births. And my daughter had a midwife who was very good. The nurse for the hospital, was always pushing for drugs to speed things along, and this and that. And, she was pleasantly annoying. And when we went down for a snack to looking at the food quality that's there, and I'm just like, this is unbelievable that in a supposedly healthy, healing institution, they're serving plastic food, and ingredients that's very harmful to the body. It just boggles my mind. I avoid those places like the plague if I can help it. And I recommend you do the same. Physician, heal thyself. Learn how to heal yourself. You can do it. The Trinitarian Theophany has given us everything we need to do that. Wherein this purgation is radically explained by a comparison. Oh, and the powers that be, by the way, hate my viewpoint. They despise that this Catholic viewpoint of caring for yourself with what God gives you. The Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, gives us the gifts. That's all we need. Wherein this purgation is radically explained by a comparison. For the greater clearness of what has gone before and what still remains to be said, it must now be noted that this purgative and loving knowledge, or divine light we speak of, acts on the soul by purging and preparing her in order to unite her perfectly with itself, in the same way as doth fire on wood, so as to transform it into itself. For the first act of material fire on reaching the wood is to dry it, forcing the damp outwards and making the inward moisture to fall forth in drops. Then it proceeds to blacken, discolor, and disfigure it until, having gradually dried and seasoned it, it makes it glow with light and expels from it all those ugly and obscure properties which at first oppose the action of the fire. And finally, as the fire gradually kindles the outer parts and fills them with its heat, it ends at last by transmuting it into itself and transfiguring it into its own essential beauty. The which being done, all action or energy proper to the wood itself ceases, leaving only the bulk and weight thereof, less ethereal than that of fire. Since it now possesses itself the properties and motions of fire, for after being thoroughly dried it becomes heated, and being heated it gives forth heat. It is lucid and sheds out light. Its weight is much less than before, the fire having accomplished in it these properties and effects. After this fashion, then, must we philosophize concerning this divine fire of love of contemplation, which, before it joins and transforms the soul into itself, first purges her of all her opposite accidents. It drives out her deformities so that she seems worse than before. For as this divine purge continues to remove all evil and vicious humors, which by reason of their being so rooted and fixed in the soul, she failed to perceive, and so knew not that so much evil existed within her. So now, in order that they may be cast forth and utterly consumed, they are set forth before her eyes, and she sees them so clearly in the illumination of this obscure light of divine contemplation, although she is no worse than before, either as regards herself or the Trinitarian Theophany, that as she perceives within herself what before she saw not, it seems to her that she is such, that not only is she not fit for the Trinitarian Theophany to look upon her, but that the divine family must hold her in loathing, and that at last Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hates her. By this comparison, we may now understand many things in respect of what we now state and are about to state. In the first place, we are able to understand how and in what manner the same light and loving wisdom, which shall finally unite and transform the soul into itself, is the same which, in the beginning, purges and prepares her, like as the fire, which transforms the wood into itself. By becoming a bodily part of it, it is one and the same with that which first prepared and seasoned it to receive the action. In the second place, we shall see why the soul does not look upon these sufferings as proceeding from the divine wisdom. For as says the wise man, venerunt autem mihi omnia bona pariter cum iras. All benefits together come to the soul therein, but from her own inherent weakness and imperfection, which without this purgation did not admit of her receiving this divine light, softness, and delight. Like as the wood which cannot be transformed immediately, the fire is put thereto, but must be first prepared and seasoned, and therefore she undergoes great suffering, the which also the preacher approves, setting forth the sufferings he underwent to the end that he might at last be united with and enjoy this light in the following words: Venter meus conturbatus est querendo illam propetere bonum possidebo possessionem. My soul anguished therein, and my bowels were discomfited in the acquiring it. Therefore I shall possess a glad possession. In the third place, we may hence deduce in passing the kind of torture suffered by those in purgatory. For fire would be powerless against them if they were absolutely fit to reign and be united with the Trinitarian Theophany in glory, and had no sins to punish, which is the matter whereon the fire there seizes, the which being consumed, there is nothing left to burn. Likewise here, when once the imperfections have been consumed, the sufferings of the soul are ended, leaving her to rejoice in such sort as this mortal life admits of. In the fourth place, we shall hence deduce how the soul, in the like measure as she is gradually purged and purified by means of this fire of love, becomes more and more inflamed therein, just as the seasoning and preparation of the wood keeps pace with the increase of the heat. although this kindling of love is not always perceptible to the soul, save at those times when contemplation fails to seize upon her so forcibly. For then the soul has space to see and even to rejoice in the work which is being performed, because the purpose of her sufferings is revealed to her, and they seem to pause a moment from their task and withdraw the red-hot iron from the furnace, as if to shew the progress they have come to in their labors. And then the soul has time and opportunity to see her own improvement, which she saw not when the work was still going on. So likewise, when the flame ceases to lick the wood, it affords a chance of observing how far the fire hath spread. In the fifth place, we shall also deduce from this comparison what has above been said, to wit, how true it is that after these intermissions the soul is replunged into suffering, still more intense and exquisitely painful than before. For after she has received this proof, and when at last the more exterior imperfections have been purified, the fire of love once more seizes upon that which still remains to purify, and consumes it to the heart, wherein the suffering of the soul is so much the more searching, subtle, and spiritual, the more it proceeds to refine and penetrate those imperfections which are most elusive, rarefied, and soulful, and most firmly rooted in the innermost part. And this happens after the same fashion as with the wood, when the fire, as it makes its way to the interior parts thereof, proceeds with greater force and fury, so as to season it to the heart and take absolute possession. In the sixth place, we shall deduce that although the soul enjoys great and intensely eager delight in these intervals to such a degree that, as we said, she thinks at times that her trials shall never return, although it is almost certain they shall return most quickly, yet she feels, if she is in any way observant, and at times it forces itself upon her attention, that some fibrous root is left which hinders her from feeling this delight in all its bounty. For it seems as if it threatened to seize upon her once more, and when this is so, it soon returns. In short, that which still remains to be purged and illuminated more interiorly cannot well be hidden from the soul on account of the purification she has already undergone. Like also, as in the wood, the difference between the innermost part which still remains to be enlightened, and that which has been already purged is exceedingly apparent. And when this purification again proceeds to attack the more secret parts, one cannot marvel that the soul should think once more that all her mercies have come to an end, and that she dare no longer hope to recover her treasures, since plunged in more interior emotions, all the more outward good effects are hidden from her. Bearing then this comparison in sight, together with the explanation already given of the first line of the first song of this dark night and its terrible properties, it will be well to bid farewell to these sad matters of the soul, and now begin to treat of the fruit of her tears, and of their happy qualities, whereof the soul begins to sing from this second line. I won't end there today, but I will read the second line. Wherein is begun to be explained the second line of the first song, it states how the soul, as the fruit of these rigorous conflicts, finds herself with a vehement longing after love divine, with heartache kindled into love. Okay, as I was reading this, I was thinking of another comparison immediately, and the one that I experienced last night. I observed last night, but a woman goes through during birth. The contractions, okay, and the intensity and the complete agony, if you will, of these, and you think that that's going to be it, and then I'm going to have the baby. And then another one comes, okay, and you think that's going to be it, and then they get more and more and more intense, and it's the same. It's the same as he's describing with the fire burning into the wood. The more it gets into the heart, the more intense it becomes, and then the fruit appears, and the baby comes. What a great analogy there. That's a great time too, when you think about it, for a woman to offer up all of her sufferings during that time and offer them to the Trinitarian Theophany for the expiation of her sins and others. Deum vobiscum, quoque apote. Oremos. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, Hancam Maculatum Hostiam, quam ego indignus famulus tuus, offeri tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus, et negligentis meis et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed pro omnibus fidelibus Catholicorum vivisaque defunctis ut mihi et iris proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabiliti condidisti et mirabilius reformasti, da nobis peruvius atquae et vini mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortes, qui humanitatis nostrae fieri dignatis est parteceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui ticum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuam depecantes, clementiam ut in conspecto divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra et totius mundi salute cum adoris suavitatis ascendat in spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiamur a te Deum Iesum Christum et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum in conspecto tuo hodie ut placiat tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum et sanctificit oblate prosequendo et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas Concoblationum quam tibia ferimus a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae, et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Istorum et Omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere, dignenter in celis coram memoriam caelis, quorum memoriam agimus in tedis, pedeendum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile tia fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium et manibus tuis ad laudem et gloriam nominis sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, sursum corda, habemus ad Deum, gratias agamos Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitur clementissimi Mater et Pater, Deum Matram nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices, rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas. Haec sanctam sacrificium irribata. In primisque tibi offerimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodiri, adonare et regere digneris toto orbi terrarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum, famalorum tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering, especially Katie, Gage, Neil and Earl Lively, Olivia Began, Maria Josephina Mose, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody, Amble Tink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Maria and the Leibweber family, John Cahill, the Dosco family, the Nye family, the Tafur and Began families, and the Wolf families. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council Office at Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child sexual abuse, and ritual abuse and human trafficking of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium exchange. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society to stop all forms of usury and abuses, including lying. We ask Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud. You destroy Rome and the Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima. We ask that you release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus and send those demons back to hell. Please also block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel, and for that matter, disband the WHO. We ask also to transfer the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel and make them disband Israel. All these things we ask in accordance with God's holy, the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi afferimus, vero qui tibi offerunt hoc sacrificium laudis procesuisque, omnibus pro redemptione anomarum suarum, pro spe salutes tis et incalamitatis suae. Tibique redunt votas sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae semper Deam Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Beatorum Martyrium Tuorum, Papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum, quorum meritis, precibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectionis tuae muniamur exilio per illum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratum acceptabilemque facere digniris ut nobis corpum et sanguinem fiat dilectissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur accepit panem in sancta sac venerabilis manus suas, et elevatis oculis in caelum et ad te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens consecravit. Fregit dique lumnis sui dicens accipite et mandicate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simili modo postquam ceremonia est, accipiens et hunc preclarum calicem in sancta sac venerabilis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit dedique lumnis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex eo omnes. Hic est enim calis sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum. Hic quod escumque feceritis in me memoria facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed et plebs tua sancta eiustem Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae passionis, nec non et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis offerimus preclare maiestati tuae de tuis donis ac datis, supraque quae propitio ac serenum vutur respicere digneris. Supplices te rogamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iubi haec perfere per manus tuum ut quod ex hoc autoris participatione sacrosanctum Deum filium tuum corpus et sanguinem sum serimus omni sanctificatione caelesti et gratia repre amor per indum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have deceased, and we especially pray for Francis Stelzer, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibus in Christum, quiescentibus locum reficerii lucis et pacis et indulgeas deprecamur, per indum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivibicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Dea Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, matronam nostrae, gratia plena, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea matronam nostrae, matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quesumus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus, et futeris, et intercedente beata, et gloriosa semper Dea matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato simul semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per eandum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te, haec commixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem ad aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, quoperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinem tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tuis semper in haerere mandatis et aetunum quam separari, permittas qui cum eodem Dea matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere praesumo, non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutamentum mentis et corporis et ad me delam, percipiendam, qui vivis et regnas cum Dea matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem calestem, accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deam matronam nostrae non sum dignus, ut intercedectum meum, sed tantum dig verbo et senabatur anima mei. Deum Iesum Christum non sum dignus, ut intercedectum meum, sed tantum dig verbo et senabatur anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sum dignus, ut intercedectum meum, sed tantum dig verbo et senabatur anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retribuit mihi? Calicem, salutaris accipiam et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. laudam invocabo Deam matronam nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam meam. Quod ori sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capeamus, et a te munere temporale fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumpsiet sanguis quem potavi adhaeviat, visceribus meis et praesta, ut in me non remaneat scelerum macula, quem pura et sancta refecerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that they mayest free them from all sins, and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote. Ite missae est. Deum gratia. Placeat tibi sancta Trinitum obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta et sacrificium quod oculis tuae majestatis igninus obtuli tibi sit acceptabile, mihique et omnibus pro quibus illud otuli sit te miserante propitiabile, per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gratias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart, the Immaculate Heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you very much for attending and for your faith. And good day, Denise. Hello. Again, if you know of anybody that's going to have a baby, remind them to offer up their sufferings for the souls in purgatory during that process. I think it might help. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet, and have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow is Free for All Friday. We're going to talk about the monarchy again.